Sci-fi surprise time! The Galaxy Invader. Now, those who have been following with the SciFi Surprize Series, you know that if the title card ain't that hot, especially if there's a spelling mistake, usually means wasn't too impressed with the movie. And I'm not going to go back and fix that up because the movie wasn't worth it. So, the Galaxy Invader. Now, this is a science fiction film, so I'll give it that. Check mark. Yes. Yes, it is. It's a monster movie, a creature feature. It is a horrible drawing. I'm actually quite embarrassed by that drawing. Guy in a suit kind of, idea. But alien-ish. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Is this science fiction? Yes. Is this a film? I don't know. This lands in that really weird spot of it's from 85, so it's right in the land of direct-to-video new. And there's some things that I love about that. It's got this great electronic score, and it's just the acting is horrible. Mostly, there's a couple guys in there that were pretty good, but in general, the acting is horrible. It's just oh well, maybe we need to look in the forest. Everyone runs into the forest, and there's some charm in that kind of stuff, but I wasn't mostly feeling it. The one thing I have to say, though, the people in it kind of felt like a theater troupe. If you actually just lined up these people and said, this is supposed to be a family, I'd be like, who's who? The ages don't match up, the sibling ages range 30 years, and I kept thinking that the brother was the dad because they look like the same age, and there's just but if you just believe it, in theater, when you watch theater, if they say, I am a stone, then that is a stone. So you have to sort of go at it with that perspective. And when I looked up the film and the director and stuff, all these people work together a lot with the same director. Some of the people are family. I get it. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like, okay, these are a bunch of people making a movie, I guess, I don't know, it's just kind of but the plot and the acting and the, it's just it's hard to, when it's, it was only 80 minutes or so, or 79 minutes, so it's not that hard to sit through it, but it's just, there's just not a lot of glue keeping it together. If there's something, either one person's a really good standout, or the story is really tight, or the creature is really interesting, or there's something really original, I can be there. But for me, there wasn't really any of those things. And then there was an added layer of gender crap that was horrible. That was just horrible. We don't need any women, we only need men. And one guy actually grabbed a woman by the back of her head, she was a cat or something. It was no, that is not okay. And I'm sure that it wasn't condoning that kind of thing, it was part of the story, but I'm if that's part of the story, then I'm not interested in the story. That's just the truth. So, but it is a sort of Good Ole Boys versus the creature who was called several different things throughout the movie. And it's there are all these crazy assumptions, this is one of the problems with, sometimes that happens with creature features, or not with creature features, because creature features are one thing and they are their own identity. But when you have a film that has a creature and it's a non-communicative creature, you gotta give some, it has to do something for the rest of the part of the story, for other people reacting to the creature to make sense, because this kind of didn't really make any sense. And I know the characters are supposed to be stupid, so you don't really need a lot to go with whatever they say, and that's part of the fun, I think, of the movie, is they're so stupid that they hey, what is this? Let's touch it. It's just so you're just oh my god, let's see what happens when we do this. So there's that sort of the element of comedy, I guess, or something that you can relate to. But the creature itself, it was just a guy in it, it was just a guy in a suit. There was nothing. They tried, there were things that could have been pulled together and could have been something, some connection with, but why was it there? We don't know. It was pretty benign. I don't know why these people were after it. It's just, they said why they were after it, but I mean, why didn't it just go home. Like, like there was nothing to indicate more. Like, it's just like, oh my god. So I have to say this one was pretty horrible, and not so much in a great way. There were some elements. The music made me laugh. The guy that played David was quite good. He's actually the director's son. Sadly, this was the last movie he was in. But I was like, wow, he's actually acting. You know, some of it wasn't great. Some of it was sort of like, you know, I think someone would be a little more freaked out in that situation than what he's doing. But you know, there was something there. I saw something there, like just something, anything. It's just wow. I will have to say, it made me want to go back and watch other creature movies. Obviously, this creature in my horrible drawing, you can tell, looks kind of like the creature from the Black Lagoon. But this one actually reminded me a little bit more of Swamp Thing. And I haven't seen that for years, and I really liked it as a kid. And I'm actually not sure if I like Swamp Thing or Swamp Thing 2. I don't know, and I don't know if it's one that if I watched it now, I don't know how I would react to it in lots of different levels, but I remember we had it on tape, and I used to watch it a lot, and I don't remember the movie, like, at all. I can't even remember like, I remember there's a woman in it, and there's a swamp thing in it, and that's about it. Like, honestly, I have no clue. So I'm going to see if I can try and dig that up. I would love it. It's probably not on Netflix. If it was on Netflix, I'm sure Netflix would have recommended it to me by now. Anyway, so it made me want to watch Swamp Thing, which may or may not be a good thing, a bad thing, I don't know. But this one was challenging. And the audio-visual stuff, it wasn't bad. Like, it was degraded, but... and like the film, but I actually realized I changed my TV setup a little bit, and now I'm actually watching through my Blu-ray player to my TV through an HDMI cable, and that doesn't really service this well, but I'm using the other input for something else, so I don't know that. But in this case, like, honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's like they have all this stuff at night, you know, on video, you know, that's 30 years old or whatever. Like, it's just like you can't see like anything. Like, I don't think the cable I'm using is the thing that differentiates how good that is. And the audio is mostly good. There's some voiceover type stuff that's kind of funny. But again, that kind of stuff I found a little more charming. But I really didn't like the sexism and the gender balance, even if it was, you know, to make a point or part of the story or whatever. For me, it threw me out of it every single time. Like, every single female character, pretty much, except for the younger daughter who was, like, you know, 25. The young daughter of, you know, every woman was just, you know, harassed or whatever. Like, just not, well, you know, it was annoying. That was their purpose in the film, pretty much, was to have people yell at them, to talk down to them, to grab them by the back of the neck. So I'm like, I can't support a movie like that. I just can't. That's just not gonna happen. So, science fiction, yes. Shannon movie, no. No. So, time to pick the next movie. I think the older ones are better. Mind you, Laser Mission was 90s, and it was, I think it's that one. Eh? Oh, it's falling back in. That's the one. This time. I can't read it. The Amazing Transparent Man! Yay! 1960s. Yes, I think I'm up for a 60s science fiction movie. I think I'm now going to be a little leery of the 80s ones. I know there's a lot of love for, and now there's even a lot of emulation of this sort of era of film. I was thinking of a lot of Manborg, actually, as I was watching Galaxy Invader, and I'm so excited Manborg is out on DVD, and I need to get it. But I'm like, Manborg is one, it's a movie, and two, it's a good movie. Like, this was barely a movie, just, I don't know. So, anyway, Galaxy Invader. What galaxy was he from? Was he invading? I don't know! We never found out! Like, there's so many other things I could say, just, like, one involving a wheelbarrow, and, like, I'm just gonna leave it. I can't really recommend it, but just, it was pretty ridiculous. So, alright, Amazing Transparent Man, I think I've actually heard of that one, so maybe we're revving up to an actual classic science fiction movie. There is always hope. Thanks for watching.